She turned to prostitution at the age of 14.
The person could kill you.
And will a mother's confession reveal all? What went wrong? An all-new Tyra starts now. Due to the graphic nature of today's show, parental guidance is strongly suggested. Today's show is about a very difficult subject for me. We're talking to teenage porn stars and prostitutes. This is Victoria, and she turned to prostitution at the age of 14. 14 years old. This is her shocking story. Victoria is a bright girl from a nice middle-class family, but she wanted more.
I was probably about to turn 15, and I didn't have much money. It was really hard for me to get a job. I did babysitting for a while. I wanted to buy some new things. I wanted to buy some new accessories, some new clothes. If I'm going to get a regular job and make $6.50 an hour, then why can't I make $150 in 5 minutes?
Using the phone to do the unthinkable, Victoria began selling her body.
So I started calling the chat line, and the more I went on there, the more I learned about the discreet encounters. I'd usually have my mom's cell phone with me, and I'd wait for them to pull up, and then I'd get in the car, we'd talk for a minute, and then we'd go find some place to park. I had sex with about 15 guys for money. They didn't know how old I was. I told them I was 19 years old. Eventually I told them how old I was, and they still came back for more.
Drugs started to play a role in her dangerous behavior.
I was starting to spend my money from prostituting on cocaine. It just seemed like I didn't care about anything anymore. I contracted a sexually transmitted disease, and that makes me feel horrible.
This is Victoria, and she's 16 years old now, but as I said earlier, she started prostituting 2 years ago when she was only 14 years old. So you started at 14 years old, Victoria, right?
Right.
Why don't you tell me about that very first time, the very first encounter you had?
The first time was in a car. I had met him on the chat line, and he was 28 years old. He left me a message, and I wrote a couple numbers down of a few guys, and we set up a meeting, and I met up with him at a park. We met up there. You know, he got out of his car. I talked to him for a minute, and then eventually he got into the car, and we went and parked somewhere, and very quick way to make money, 5 minutes, and $150 in my hand.
And what did you do to him?
We had sex, and that's it.
Did you have unprotected sex?
That time, no.
At that time, no?
That time, no.
So the first time you had protected sex with him the first time?
Yes.
So with other customers you had unprotected sex?
Sadly, yes.
Yes. Why don't you tell me about that, and what would make you, because you're in a generation that knows about AIDS. You know, it's everywhere. You hear about it all the time. Public service announcements, everything. So what do you think made you do that unprotected?
Well, when I first started, I wanted to spend my money on clothes, accessories. I wanted to spend it on just things for myself. So when I started getting into drugs, I started doing cocaine. It's a very addictive drug, and I wanted it.
What age were you?
I was maybe about 15 by then.
15.
And I started using cocaine, and I wanted it more and more, which is a side effect. You just want more. So I'd just go out there and just with whoever and have sex with whoever, didn't know who they were, didn't know if they were.
Did you contract any diseases?
Yeah, I think when I was 15 I contracted chlamydia.
So tell me about your clients.
Their ages varied from 20 to 34, 35.
And you said, in the tape you said that they didn't know your age, but then you would tell them that you were 14, 15 years old.
Some of them. I told Of course, at first, I told them I was 19 years old.
Which is ridiculous because you look 14 right now.
I look like a little, I have a baby face.
Yeah.
They would say that to me, you have a baby face, you don't look 19. And I always had my story planned out. I had it all in a row for them so that they'd feel more comfortable.
But then when you did tell them the truth, some of them did stay.
Some of them did
come
back.
So when you told them I'm 14, I'm 15, what did they say?
Wow, I can't believe that, but yet they still came back for more.
I see you have a tissue in your hand and you seem really nervous about this. Why are you so nervous to talk about this?
It's just upsetting. It's sad. I don't wish this on anybody. I hope that any other girl out there thinking about doing something like this just doesn't do it. Find some other way to make money.
It's a good message.
Don't have
I want you to take me through what goes through your mind before you're about to turn a trick.
It would be scary because you don't know who the person is. You don't know if they're going to hurt you. You don't know what they're planning on doing. They can take you somewhere. They could kill you. They could hurt you. They could. Who knows? Who knows what they'll do to you? So it's the fear, and then when the sexual act is going on, what's going through your mind at that time? Numb. I don't care. Just don't think about it. I think of it as I would just think of it as normal sex. But you said numb. Numb because if you were to be present, what do you think would be going through your mind if you were to actually be there? I have no idea, because every time I just wouldn't think of anything. I just let it happen. The one thing that I want to ask is, where was your mother? Where is your mother when all this is going on? You're still a young girl. Sleeping. Nighttime. Sneak out my window. Just like run away, I guess, type thing. Does she know what you were doing out there? No, she had no idea. Well, we're going to meet Victoria's mother when we come back. She's here, and I have a lot to ask your mother. This show, guys, it's very hard for me. It really is. We'll be right back.
When we come back, a teen prostitute's mom faces the truth.
I was completely naive. We were able to give her food and a home and shelter. I didn't want to believe that, and I still don't want to believe that.